So I recently got tiered up to tier 6,000 on Merch by Amazon, and I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to make a video breaking down how the tier system actually works. So what's going on, guys? My name is Ben. On this channel, I talk about building meaningful side hustles, and I've sold over 4,000 products on Merch by Amazon. I've also had my hands in a variety of other e-commerce and print-on-demand spaces. But in this video, I'm going to break down how the tier system works with Merch by Amazon, what it took for me to tier up to tier 6,000, and give you guys a few actionable tips on how you can tier up faster. So let's go ahead and hop right in. So how does the tier system with Merch by Amazon actually work? Well, what Amazon has done to protect the integrity of the Merch by Amazon platform is to implement this tier system. Now, what this does is it limits the amount of products that a new seller or any seller on Merch by Amazon can actually have live at any given time. So when you first start as a brand new seller to Merch by Amazon, you normally only have 10 active slots. So you can only have 10 products or 10 total designs listed on the platform. In order to get tiered up, you have to essentially prove yourself to the Merch by Amazon team that you're worthy of getting tiered up. So that you do this by listing high quality designs and then getting more sales. Now, from the Merch by Amazon team, in order to actually get tiered up, you have to sell the same amount of products as the tier that you're on. So for example, if you're on tier 10, in order to be qualified for tiering up, you have to sell at least 10 products on the platform. Now, that doesn't mean that immediately you're going to get tiered up. It normally does take a little bit of time. There's kind of a lag time there. And as a general rule of thumb, the one thing that Amazon doesn't publish is most sellers actually see that they don't get tiered up unless they have at least 80% of their product slots full. So if you're at tier 100, for example, you need to have at least 80 out of 100 slots filled up. And this makes sense, right? From a common sense perspective, Amazon wants to see you're actually utilizing the slots that you have available. Otherwise, why would they give you more? So that's kind of an unwritten, unspoken rule. But generally speaking, to get tiered up, you need to sell the same number of products that your tier is equal to, and you have to also max out or have at least 80% of your product slots full. So what are the actual tiers right now? Well, as of recording this, and they have been known to kind of change, there are 19 different tiers. I'll throw them up on the screen somewhere, but those range from tier 10 when you're just getting started all the way up to tier 200,000. So when you just get started, obviously you want to focus not on profit, but actually on getting sales so that you can tier up. So this is kind of how the Merch by Amazon tier system works in a nutshell. Next, we're going to hop into the computer. I'll show you guys what it took for me to get tiered up to tier 6,000. So guys, here we are in my Pretty Merch dashboard. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, you get tiered up based on the number of sales that you've actually accrued compared to your current tier level. It took me a while to get tiered up from tier 4,000 to 6,000 because I'm not running any PPC or anything else, and I hadn't really focused much on this platform, so I didn't even have all my slots maxed out. But earlier this year, towards the beginning of 2021, I went ahead and maxed out all my slots. You guys can see now I have about 4,400 products live. But early at the beginning of this year, I only had maybe 3,000, 3,500. So I went and first maxed out all my product slots, and then it took me a couple more months. And in March of 2021, I actually finally got tiered up. So now as of recording this, it's been about a month or so since I've got tiered up. But you guys can see here in the US, I've sold 4,271 products. And then let me switch over to the UK really quick. In the UK, I've sold another 123. So I've probably sold, since I got tiered up, about another 150 products. So it took me, really to get about 4,100 product sales on the Merch by Amazon platform to get tiered from tier 4,000 to 6,000. And that might be just because of the lag time. So there was some lag time. I did have to wait. I'd say probably 3 or 4 weeks after when I felt like I was actually eligible to get tiered up. And recently that's kind of been the trend, is Merch by Amazon has been tiering up in these different waves as they go. So that is what it took for me to get tiered up from 4,000 to 6,000. Now let's hop into talking about a few tips to getting tiered up faster. All right, guys, so finally my 4 tips on getting tiered up faster, and everyone has different tips, but these are just 4 that I like to implement. So number 1 is in those low tiers, buy yourself out. I did this in tier 10. I bought 2 of my own t-shirts to kind of see what the quality was, and this actually inadvertently got me tiered up. So if you've already made your first couple sales, maybe you're at 8 sales, buy your last 2 shirts or whatever products you have. That's going to help count towards your overall sales number and hopefully get you tiered up. Not to mention, you also learn a little bit more about how the Merch by Amazon platform works and what kind of quality the products are in. So that's my first tip, is buy yourself out of those early tiers. Tip number 2 is to actually go ahead and price low. Now, I like doing this for anything under tier 1,000. I recommend that you should not focus on actually profiting as much as possible, but focus instead on pricing low to make your product offering more competitive. Because if you already have a high quality product, then you're going to have a much better chance of converting a potential shopper than someone else in the same niche that you're listing your product in if they're priced a lot higher. So pricing low just gives you that little competitive edge to hopefully convert a little bit better and get more sales. Number 3, and this is something that I don't do a ton of, but that a lot of other sellers do, and that is to advertise. If you have access to Amazon AMS or Ad Console, take advantage of PPC and advertise your products or your top sellers. This is going to, one, help you accelerate the BSR and get more organic ranking, but obviously it's also going to help you get overall more sales and hopefully tier up quicker. This is something that actually applies also later in the Merch by Amazon game. So even if you're above tier 1000, maybe even in tier 10,000 plus, advertising is a great way to accelerate your growth on the platform, not to mention get really valuable insights about the shoppers that are looking at your different products. And finally, my 4th one, and this one might be a little bit controversial depending who you ask, is to actually drop ship your products onto other platforms. I did this in the early days, and you do have to be careful about this. Make sure you guys read up on the Amazon terms of service, and if you're selling on some other platform, also read up on the terms of service there. But Amazon does allow drop shipping, at least as of the time of recording this. You just have to be careful not to use a Prime purchasing account. So if you are using your personal account to purchase your own products, don't choose the Prime shipping option, or don't even use that account, use a different one. But back in the early days when I was first getting started, to kind of accelerate my sales numbers, I would list my Merch by Amazon products over on eBay, and when I got sales on there, I would actually go purchase my own product on Merch by Amazon and then ship it directly to the customer. So this was a easy way for me to essentially capitalize on eyeballs on different platforms and get a few more numbers to my overall growth, which helped me accelerate my tier up process. So those are my 4 tips as far as tiering up. Buy yourself out of the early stages, price low, advertise, and drop ship your products if necessary onto other platforms. So with that being said, guys, that is it for this video. Let me know what you guys thought, and if you guys have any other tips for tiering up faster, or if there's anything I missed. As always, links to everything down below in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.